There are a series of videos going about of people who've decided to use their EBT cards to buy as much junk, quote, food as possible prior to President Trump's changes going into effect, where they won't be able to buy junk, quote, food. There's so many angles to look at this on. One of them is, why was this ever included? Answer, because of lobbying. Why was it ever allowed to continue? Answer, because of lobbying. What does the government get out of it? Well, they get lobbying. They get money, they get finances, they get trips, they get junkets, they get campaign donations. All the incentives are perverse. What do the grocery stores get out of stocking this stuff? It's super high margin. The less what you're eating is actual food, the more profitable it is. There's even a phrase in the grocery business. It's called distancing. The further you can remove a food from its point of origin, the more you can charge for it. An apple, you can't charge as much for apple as you can fruit leather or fake fruit, gummies. The less it actually looks like the food that God designed, the more you can charge for it. And the less it looks like the food God designed, the less good it is for you. So the perverse incentives reign. Now, I've actually been on food stamps. When my dad made the horrible decision to not pay my mom child support, my mom, who worked 3 jobs, really didn't have a choice because those jobs weren't paying what she needed. So we had things like government cheese. I remember the actual stamps. I remember my mom telling me, remember, this is not our money. This comes from the taxpayer. My liberal mom telling us that. She always wanted us to be grateful for this. The Democrat Party does not want people to be grateful. They do not want people to regard this as government money. They want them to regard it as theirs, because the Democrat Party is a party that is encouraging coveting as a virtue. Just as they do so many other sins, the Democrat Party is busily going through and making sin into virtue. Now, on the other hand of this, there is a movement in Hollywood taking what's been a cloistered, small cathedral environment where only a very few people get in to decide which films are made. That's why all the films that feature Christian dads, if you ever see a film that comes out of Hollywood and the dad's a Christian, what do you think is going to happen? Oh, okay. When do we find out that he has a strange predilection for young girls? When are we going to find that out? When are we going to find out that he's a raging hypocrite or he's closeted? When are we going to learn this? When are we going to learn that he's on the take from the church? It's always the setup, right? Not so with Angel Studios. Angel Studios films honor faith, they honor family, they honor God, and we can be part of this team. You can be part of an insurrection against Hollywood, and this has to freak the elites out because they know they can't do this. They can't do this because they wouldn't be able to allow themselves to make the movies they make. When you become an Angel Studio Premium Guild member, not only do you get 2 free tickets to any of their theatrical releases, not only do you get to stream all of their fan-created programs immediately, including King of Kings, the new animated feature about the life of Jesus Christ, but you actually get to vote on the films that they produce, distribute, and promote. That's culture shock to Hollywood. Go sign up at angel.com/Todd. That's angel.com/Todd. Be a premium Angel Studio Guild member. Angel.com/Todd. Culture matters. The culture of the Democrat Party is they've taken something like EBT cards and they've taken them from something for which you're grateful. You need for a short period of time. That word entitlement, that's exactly what they want people to think. They want to think that coveting is a virtue. This is one of many videos of people being defiant. Oh, you're going to take away my sugary treats? Here's what I'm going to do.
A box of 2 bags of 49 ounces for $7.98. So we're going to grab one of those. And they got Frosted Flakes for $7.88. And we're going to grab one of those. So we got some chips, some Blow Pop for the kids, some Little Bites, some hot chips, some fruit snacks, some Gushers, some Pile of Donuts, oatmeal pies, some honey buns, and yeah.
This comes out to be, as people are counting this up roughly, $1,000 of non-food items. In those carts, there is no actual nutritional value. Nothing in those carts actually builds muscle. None of those things in those carts actually provide sustained energy. Nothing in those carts don't spike the blood sugar. There's nothing in those carts that does not contribute to onboarding people to a path towards type 2 diabetes. Nothing. And the defiance is, hey, you're taking away something that's mine. These junk foods are mine. There's a huge difference between this and being grateful for what the taxpayer has, well, you could say, chosen to provide. Because there was a time when we were the government. That's no longer. This is what the lobbyists have decided they will provide. Did I mention the perverse incentives? Are you addicted to beef or milk or eggs? When you eat eggs, do you Jones for more eggs? When you eat something like a chip, how quickly are you jonesing for another chip? This weekend, my wife and I were very blessed to go out to dinner with some friends of ours who bought us dinner. I'd never had deep fried pickles before. These are like potato chips. And yeah, I planned for this. I stored up a bunch of calories. My wife and I had to work out together, so I was good to go. But man, there's my hand almost unconsciously. And I remember when I weighed nearly 400 pounds, that the thing, your hand would eat food and you wouldn't even know it. Your brain's not connected. This is the perverse incentive. And aligning that with making coveting a virtue, and the Bible warns us against coveting, you have your modern Democrat Party. Oh, and there's the whole idea, and I think it's very, very true. There's not going to be a revolution in this country until people no longer have their Netflix, their opium of the masses, and nothing for me, honestly. Now, I've never stuck a needle in my arm for drugs or for opium or opioids, but nothing matches for me a kid's birthday cake. Man, I'll Jones for that forever. Changes my whole body chemistry. The run on junk food of these EBT owners or holders going all in on this, it's all in on an eventual ruin, both physically and mentally, and the Democrat Party stands right there behind them to get it. That tells us a lot about what perverse incentives do to become even more perverse. In other words, sin, even little ones, multiplies.